These were whites that did not come from Europe. Their DNA traced to the Pacific also. So it looks as though this land of Mu or Lemuria evolved at least two different races. And when this island civilization declined and sank into the sea, some of them went north, some of the whites went north, and many of the blacks went into the Valley of Mexico and created what we know as the Olmec civilization. Now, why is all this important? And is it just all neat, or is it just exciting? I mean, for myself, it's exciting enough. But history, and this history is very important because it's suppressed. It's not common currency. You go to the colleges or the universities, they will still tell you there's nobody here before Columbus. Well, why is that? Well, an archaeologist, as I mentioned to some of the people here before the talk, archaeologists don't make much money. They can make money if they teach. And what they do, the archaeologist, he makes a name for himself in the field with the idea that eventually he'll go on to the university and he'll have tenure there. Well, then when you get to be a professor, what do? You write a textbook, right? And in the textbook, this is your authority, and means all your students and all your classes have to buy that textbook, right? And if it goes on, you've got this income. So then in this textbook, you make sure you don't offend any of the powers that be, make sure you got your place there. So sure, only Columbus was here. Then somebody comes along and says, look at all these black people that are there. Oh no, that's impossible. No, couldn't possibly be there. He doesn't dare admit that because his textbook would be outdated. He'd have to get rid of his textbook. Nobody would buy his textbook anymore. His main source of revenue is over with. But it's a lie nonetheless. Too bad. It's a lie. Black people were disenthralled. They lost their slavery status. True. Physically, that's over with. But if you raise generation upon generation in which you tell your people, in America, your only heritage here is slavery. That's it. The white people, they had kings and queens and all that stuff, but we only came from... That is a form of psychological slavery still. It's a form of psychological bondage. And I tell you what, myself, I would rather be a physical slave than a psychological slave. I can rebel against physical slavery. Psychological slavery, that'll really mess you up. So, it is vitally important that this information is made available. This is how you disenthrall yourself. This is how you find real respect when you say, okay, yes, slavery was part of our culture. It really happened, but that's not all. And we had people building civilizations here, not only before Columbus was born, but before Spain was born. We had great societies rising here. Then you develop a real sense of self-respect and real connectedness with the land. Now, why is it important to me? That's because it's part of my heritage, too. I'm an American, too. And these people that are suppressing this thing about the blacks are also suppressing the thing about Asians being here, and there were definitely Asians that came here, and Vikings and everything else. America apparently was a melting pot long before the Statue of Liberty came around. The other lesson to be learned from it, and this is vital. Look what happened when the Spaniards came here. They exterminated everybody. They enslaved everybody. They coughed on everybody and gave everybody diseases, wiped everybody out. That's the kind of heritage that they did. All these previous great civilizations, we don't know anything about them because they scrubbed them clean. And we're just picking up the pieces now. And it was hardly any better when the Anglo-Saxons came to North America, because when they came here and they saw this beautiful country, do you think they said, oh, look how pretty the trees are in the valley? Well, I might have figured, you know what, well, I can make a profit out of that. I'm going to make money off of that. And so they cleared the trees, they cleared the Indians, everything else, just for the idea of profit. And they wiped everything out.